Hey guys, Stay-Patient here, back with another Fallout 4 video, and today we're going to be taking a look at how to assign your settlers to different roles and jobs within your village, and which of the resources actually require someone assigned to them. Also, we're going to be taking a closer look at the food production and how much food each settler can produce when they are assigned to harvesting. So if we bring up our menu here, we're going to go over the basics to begin with. Now, first of all, I'm going to point something out. I'm currently hovering over this guy here, and as you can see in the background, he is lit up, but also the guard tower at the far end lights up when I look at him. Now, that's a very useful tip because sometimes you forget who is assigned to what, and what that means is that anything that the person you're looking at is currently assigned to lights up when you look at them, so you know what job they're currently in charge of. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but it also lit up the bed that he is currently assigned to when I hovered over him. You don't really need to worry about assigning beds, they'll find one themselves. But if there is a bed that you want to use for yourself and someone sleeps in it, you can always assign them to another one. But we're going to just look at some of these resources and explain which ones require a person assigned to them. Now, the best way to know this is by literally hovering over whatever the resource is. For this, in this instance, we're looking at a guard tower, and in that box there you can see the requirements and the production. So it requires one person. Now, that person in this case is green. So that means that there is currently someone assigned to it. Now, if you remember the guy that we looked at as he walked past us a minute ago, when we looked at him, this guard post lit up. So he is the guy that's currently in charge of it, and that's why the requirement shows up in green, because it's currently filled. And it's producing 2 defense. Now, these turrets produce 5 defense, as you can see, but there are no requirements. Once you've built them, they don't need people to run them, and they don't need power. Now, if I come here, there's an example of something that I have currently unassigned the person who is working here, just to show you how it works. The scavenging station requires one person to run it, but that person is currently showing up as red, which means there isn't anyone assigned to it. So you need to fill that requirement for it to start producing what it's designed for. And I'm going to give you one other example. This recruitment beacon requires 1 power, so it's getting that power from this generator currently. Now, I'm going to get rid of this wire that's connecting them, and now it no longer has power, which means that when I go onto it, as you can see there, it requires 1 power, but that 1 power is red, which means it's not being filled, that requirement. So I'm going to reconnect it so that we have that beacon working. Attach the wire there, and as you can see, it goes back to being green. Now, of course, the shops need someone assigned to each one, but we're going to go around and take a look at the food and the water. Now, let's go down into the lower garden first. Now, as you can see, as I hover over Marcy Long, it doesn't just light her up, it also lights up her current responsibilities that she's assigned to. And as you can see, there are actually a total of 12 plants that she's assigned to. Now, you don't need to individually assign her to every plant. You simply need to send her as a gardener. So if I click on her, I haven't actually covered this yet. I'm going to go somewhere else and cover the basics of how to assign someone, because I know that there's someone up here who's not assigned to a job at the moment. So if we look at this settler, it brings up a menu along the bottom that's different to usual. It brings up the option to command them with the X or A button. So I'm going to click on him now so I can command him. Now, anything I do is going to be seen as a command for this settler. So this guy who is in charge of this guard post, I believe, he's actually walked off, meaning I can swap him for someone else. So I'm going to assign the guy that I'm currently commanding to this guard post. So if you look at it, it will show up the prompt at the bottom to assign him. Press X, and in the top left corner you'll see it says the resource is now assigned. That's how you assign someone. So what we're going to do is carry on just discussing this food production, because as you can see, Marcy Long is in charge of food here. If I was to command her and click on one of these plants, she's already responsible for food production, but it would just randomly pick 12 plants for her to be in charge of. Let's just wait for her to start farming, Now we look at her, and it's added the plant that the specific plant I clicked on, which was the end one. It's added that to her rotation, I believe. Yep, there we go. And she's still in charge of 12 plants. You don't need to assign them all individually. But if we take a look at these plants, now this is important because this determines how many plants you want to actually put in your garden, and also how many people you want to assign to the farming work. But each one of these corn plants produces 0.5 units of food. All of them 0.5, and so do the potato plants. Okay. So what that means is that you need 2 of these plants to produce a whole unit of food. And as you can see in the top left, my current food production is at 29. Now, each settler or person that lives within your settlement can produce 6 units of food. So that means if these plants are only producing 0.5, that means that each settler will be in charge of 12 plants, making a total of 6 units. So you want to bear that in mind when you decide how many plants to actually place. Now, as you can see, to make it easier for me to kind of mathematically work out how many we've got and how many people I need, I've put all the plants here in rows of 6. So we've got 6 corn, 6 corn, and 6 corn. And then along the back here, they're a bit more haphazard, but I know how many there are. We've got a row of, another row of 6 to combine with the corn to make a total of 12. And then I've got another 12 potato plants. So in total, we've got 6, 12, 18, 24, 36. So we've got 36 plants in this garden, all of them producing 0.5 food units. So we have 3 people here farming 12 plants each, and they each produce 6 units of food, making 18 units. So that's how the math works when you're figuring out how many plants to have. But I'm going to show you some different plants here, and this is something to bear in mind, something that I didn't actually notice when I first planted these. I assumed that every plant produced 0.5, but this one actually produces 1. This is the Mutfruit plant. This produces a whole unit of food, which means that each person that's in charge of these plants can farm 6 of them in total. Rather than 12, you know, when it comes to the other ones, they were able to farm 12, but these guys are farming 6 of them. But that does mean that they still produce 6 units of food. So if you are planting Mutfruits, just be aware that you only need 6 per person, and they will produce 1 unit each. The water, I haven't mentioned yet, but obviously the water doesn't actually need anyone assigned to it. As you can see, it produces 3 units of water, and there's no requirements. You don't need power, and you don't need people. So there you have it, guys. The reason why it is important to be aware of all this and to have the correct number of people assigned to each role is because when you start building shops, they only make an income of caps, and I believe they only increase your happiness based on how many spare people you have at your settlement that don't currently have an assignment. So people who just live there but aren't doing a particular job, they're just kind of wandering around, and they will be the people that shop at these stores, making you money and also making your settlement happier. So there you have it, guys. If you've got any questions, I hope I've explained it relatively well. It's a little bit confusing at times, but if you've got any questions, don't forget, you can chuck them in the comments. I'll try and answer them, or maybe someone else will get to it first. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, guys. I'm going to get back to enjoying the game itself. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you all very soon. Bye for now.